Your next teller is actually the co-producer of this show from Geeky Comedy Seattle. I've known Valerie for a little bit now, and it's been a complete honor to work with her and, like I said, just run shows with her and produce. She just made it very, very easy, and so I hope you enjoy her story. So welcome to the stage, Valerie.
Katie, and yeah, now I have to follow first. Sorry. I'm from Belgium, and in Belgium we have two different sayings for when you turn an age that's a multiple of 10. So when you're 20 or when you're 30. One of them is that you get a new front door, because it's a new first digit. And the other one, which I like more, is that you get on a new tram, because I like trains. So like, when I turned 30, I got on tram 3, and I bring that up because I feel like those ages are kind of important. They feel important, they feel like your life is changing and fun things are happening. For me, it was like, I turned 30 in 2020, so it was a weird year. But I also like learned to love my body. When I felt like 30 is the age when you learn to love your body and things are kind of just like starting to make sense. Unfortunately, it's also the year my body decided not to love me back. I started developing an allergy. So this is kind of the story of how I'm getting through that. It's not finished. It's not going to be a satisfying ending. So like, I think it started around the summer 2020. It's kind of hard to tell. A lot of things were going on. And we're spending a lot of time outside, and I would be getting itchy a lot of the time. I would get these like red blotches on my arm, and they'd just be really itchy, and I'd get them on my chin and on my neck. And I thought, like, maybe it's sunscreen, maybe it's the sun. I'm not going to not go outside. We really can't do anything else right now. So I didn't really think too much about it until the winter where it was just still happening. I would go take a hot shower, and I would start getting these, like, bumps on my butt that were really itchy. So I started keeping track of this. I called it my bumpy butt diary, which is still on my phone and really awkward when you bring it up your phone. Okay. Keeping track of something doesn't really help you get it help though. So eventually I did go to a doctor, and I was explaining, well, so when I take a hot shower, I get these bumps, and it's like really itchy, and it's really uncomfortable. It's just, and they told me I was probably just dehydrated, and I should hydrate. So I started like putting a little bit more lotion on, and it wasn't really helping. So when I had my wellness check, the one after that, which was with a different doctor, because that's how this medical system works apparently, I brought it up again, and they said, you know what, you might just be allergic to being hot. Okay, thank you. Apparently, it's a thing. It's called cholinergic urticaria, and it's allergic to heat. So when I exercise, or when I take a hot shower, or when the sun's out, or when I literally just walk inside from a cold outside, I start getting itchy, I start getting these red bumps all over, and it's quite uncomfortable, but at least it has a name. And if it has a name, maybe it has something I can do about it. The doctor then prescribes me some medicine. It's basically a type of antihistamine. Tells me like, if you know you're going to exercise, you can take it. If you get itchy, you can take it. But that's about what we can do about it. I'm taking this medicine for a while. I end up going back to a different doctor number 3, for an unrelated issue. But I asked, hey, well, these allergies are not really going away. Could I maybe like go see an allergist? Maybe it's more than just the heat allergy. Maybe it's more than just the cholinergic urticaria. And this doctor tells me, oh, you mean heat hives? Not as sexy to me. Well, you could go to an allergist, but they'll just do the same thing. So I'm just gonna like tell you these other antihistamines that you could take and figure out a combination that works for you. Okay, thank you. And also thank you for that $300 bill to get a wart removed. So, last year, October, a couple of things happened. I start a new job, which means I get new insurance, which means I get married, so my partner also has insurance. But I started working at UW, and something cool there is that there's a secret number I can call, and when I call it, they actually get me an appointment 3 days away, not 3 months away. Apparently being inside the system. And also, maybe they're just more helpful. I go see a doctor again just for my routine wellness check. It's the same clinic, actually. It's a fourth doctor for keeping count. And I bring this problem up again. I say, hey, I'm just getting really itchy all the time, and these medicines don't seem to be working. Like, it's also, it doesn't feel like it's really just the heat, because sometimes I'm exercising and it doesn't really kick in until I stop exercising. Makes me feel like I'm the human version of the movie Speed. Like, once I get going, I can't put on the brakes or it just starts yanning. And this doctor gives me a referral to a specialist. So I finally get to go to a allergy specialist who knows about these things. They say, it's still just cholinergic urticaria. It's still the same thing, but we're going to try and get this under control. We don't want you to have to take medicine when you're itchy. We want you to just not get itchy. And basic thing. And we're going to do some blood tests just to make sure that there's nothing else going on. I end up basically taking like 4 antihistamines a day, also 2 antacids, because apparently there's like gastrointestinal things that are related to it as well, which makes a lot of sense. This has definitely been going on before I was 30. And a couple of days later, the specialist calls me back and says, hey, most of your blood things look normal, but there's this one thing that's a little higher that could like be an indication. There's a compound molecule, I don't know if it's a protein, I should have researched this, called tryptase, that is in your blood when you're having an allergic reaction. Some people have hereditary alpha-tryptase something, HAT is the acronym, which means that their levels of tryptase is just naturally always higher. So I'm always just a little bit more prone to have an allergic reaction. I could get a genetic test to see if this is something that I really have, but they don't cover it, and the treatment would pretty much be the same, so I didn't do that. But when I talked to my dad about this, he was like, oh, yeah, I think we might be one of those families that just is allergic to things. And it's weird because, like, getting itchy is not the worst allergic reaction to get, but I think the reason, like, I notice myself minimizing it constantly. So, like, it's not like it's chronic pain. It's not like I'm getting, like, I don't know, like my tongue isn't swelling up. I'm just uncomfortable all the time in my own body, which isn't fair. And I don't want to be constantly being on medication. Currently, I am. It was weird. We actually started trying to wean me off all those pills, and that wasn't working well. So I'm weaning slower. And then I went to Portland 2 weeks ago, forgot my meds, and suddenly everything was just haywire again. Makes me a little nervous. I'm traveling to Japan in 2 months, and they don't let you bring in anti-allergy meds. So also being stressed is like an excellent way for me to break out and be all red and itchy. So that's all going to be great. So I hope that someday, like, I can keep on scratching this itch. I just don't want to have an itch, and I want my body to just be like, hey, I love you too. And I know that's not a very satisfying ending. Still working through this, but thank you so much for listening.